Morning, Chavez. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to DXRADIOSHOP. So, early morning rise. Got all kinds of emails today and missed phone calls from last night. Holy moly. So, here's how it goes. Good morning, John. Good morning, Sylvester. How are you guys? So, here's how this goes, I suppose. We have a, he refers as to the New York drama queen. I laugh about that because really, in turn, it's the drama queen of New Hampshire. Good morning, Jim. How are you? So, ironically, there's a few things that was really messed up with the way these guys described this video. I haven't even seen it, and I'm not even going to watch it because I know what he wants. He wants gratitude. He wants me to mention his name. He wants me to advertise for him, basically. The guy's head is so swollen, I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid he's drinking, but he's far-fetched and way out there. Him and his buddy put their two heads together, apparently, is what the conversation was. This is what was described to me. I've got an email that's, oh my God, like 4 paragraphs long of this guy pretty much just mocking and laughing about this whole deal. Morning, Denny, how are you? So, long story short is, this gentleman here, I refer to as the hack shop of New Hampshire. There's actually 2 of them. So this one here seems to be wanting all the spotlight, so I guess we'll give him all the spotlight. But they actually have 2 in New Hampshire who are both hack shops. Both of which have only been around for about maybe 3-4 years tops. And so one of which I tried to teach, and he just couldn't get it. He's just arrogant and just, I don't know, just stupid. He just doesn't want to get it. He's all about the dollar, regardless if he drives truck or not. So what it comes down to is this. The guy says a few things in there. One, he was adjusting the AMC for modulation, what the guy said. I haven't, like I said, I haven't even seen the video. I'm not going to. He sent me the link. I'm not going to check it. I could care less. I'm just going to put this out here for him, because I know he trolls my videos. He can say what he wants. He trolls my videos. He made a comment about, well, I could show you how to see the modulation going down the coaxial line. But I'm not going to, because I don't want the guy in New York to claim it and take pride for it. So, take credit for it. First of all, you can't teach me anything, buddy. I got 39 years over you. You can't teach me anything. But I do know that there are a lot of videos I do you watch because you've been mimicking a lot of it. So, and that's fine. I don't care. As long as you're learning something. But I guess the downfall is a lot of that stuff you're not really learning from. You're just still doing the same thing. Now, this guy described him of screwdriver and a radio, talking about modulation where it's splattering, this, that. Well, no, the term he put in there, quotation, was cranked and spanked. He said that's been around forever. No, it has not. This is something he created. That's his little terminology. Cranked, yes. We all know the rails get cranked up or turned up or whatever you want to call it, peak and tweak, and all kinds of different terminology. But cranked and spanked, that's something he came up with like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. He actually said it in the video. He goes, yeah, I call it the crank and spank. Now he tells everybody, oh, the word crank and spank has been around forever. I mean, okay, whatever. So I guess the moral of the whole story is basically this. The guy asked me, how can you adjust the modulation and look at the spectrum analyzer and scope to see when it's clean while you're talking? I said, well, you can do that, yes, if you got a trained eye. But what you should do is set a tone through it, so you got 100% pure, accurate read, and then you adjust your modulation to the clean waveform on both instruments. That's what you should do. So to sit there and just, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, see how looking, okay, it's clean, no, I got a little bit more. You really got to have a trained eye for that, number one. He has no trained eye for it. That takes years of experience, number one. You can look it up anywhere. So any technician, any warranty guy, anyone's going to tell you the same exact thing. This guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's drinking way too much wacky jacky Kool-Aid. I don't know what the hell he's got going on. But anyway, so the deal is, I got flooded with emails and all kinds of stuff asking questions about this nut job. I'm sure you guys are familiar by now. He puts a video up every now and again, and a couple times, this is ironically funny. He can say what he wants, I don't care. But ironically, this is funny. There's been a few radios he claimed that were customers' radios, in which the serial number, when you move the radio around this, that, and the other, actually were showing. And some of the blemishes and scratches you can see on the radio, or different characteristics you can see, were exactly the same a week or two later with a different name attached. And said, oh, well, no, this is so-and-so's radio. In other words, he doesn't have the clientele that he claims. He doesn't have the radios on hand he claims. Doesn't have none of that stuff. He might have a few that he bought, but a lot of that's ending because, unless he goes out and buys them from somebody else, because he's been discontinued through a certain company because of lying about tax ID and DBA. So, like I said, he can. I'm sure he'll respond to this, and I don't care. The truth of the matter is this: he can say what he wants, he can do what he wants. I can care less, because if he wants to push the envelope, that's okay. Because he still forgets. I've got videos of him sitting here learning and struggling on how to tune a simple basic Cobra 29. And then when it came to a Cobra 2000, he just drops dead scared everything because it's a sideband radio. But now him and his little buddy from Massachusetts, who claims to be an engineer, which you cannot use your ham license as an engineer. That's funny, really funny. You cannot use your ham license as an engineer, guys. It's either you're an engineer or you're not, period. But to get a ham license and call yourself an engineer and say that's your certificate and license, that's a lot of deep Kool-Aid you're drinking. Excuse me. So, I just want to let the record know that if you wanted to measure audio down the coax line, sure, you could do that. I can show you how to do it. But I'm going to do the same thing he does. I'm not going to. Because I know his head is so swollen that he would claim it. And he would throw me under the bus. Which I really don't care. But, you know, it's one of those things where he can figure it out for himself. He's got this so-called engineer. Well, then you guys figure it out. Because every video that I do, I know you guys are watching. And you spend a lot of time on the phone together. I know that for a fact. Because your so-called buddy engineer likes to talk to another person an awful lot on the phone. Not realizing that person also talks to me on the phone. The only reason why he talks to the other guy is because he's known him since high school. But as far as what he does for radio stuff, he doesn't even care about the conversations. He tries to change the conversation all the time. But he's stuck listening to a bunch of gibberish between you and your buddy. So, and lately he ain't been on the phone much because of that. But he spent an awful lot of time on the phone listening to you rant and rave about, oh yeah, well, Stu does this and, well, that's not right. Well, okay. Well, it comes down to one thing. And out of several emails, missed phone calls, I haven't even returned the phone calls yet, and some of the text messages, these guys are saying, and I agree, and I've already said this too, put your money where your mouth is there, Hack Shop, New Hampshire, and go live stream. If you can't go live stream to show exactly what's going on and how to align a radio, how to tune a radio, because you think you gotta hide certain things in what you do, well, then we don't want to hear it. Now, the biggest thing this one guy said, Harold started laughing. Mr. Harold, I laugh. Oh my God, this is funny, really funny. He's in Lower Manhattan, and he says, "Yeah, I like to watch a lot of videos. I watch you. I watch several videos of everybody else." He says, "But I got to ask you a question. What's that?" Well, there's two questions. Okay, what is it? He says, "Well, one, how do you not get distortion if you're over 100%? Because you have to have distortion somewhere." I said, "You're absolutely right. You will have distortion. You can't be over 100% modulation. Anything over 100% modulation is considered distortion." Now, he says, "Well, the other question is, would it change your voice whether you have the modulation? Let's say you have it set 100%, but let's say you crank it up like this guy does. It's okay." He said, "If you do that, and you got nearby monitored radios, or you got the speaker on your service monitor," which we do have, and he has the same, because I'm the one who referred him to get that service monitor. I'm the one who helped him out to get it. And he'll deny that again. See, I love you. Have a good night. And so I said, yeah, you're going to have a difference of sound. I said, why? He said, because he tried to make it sound like it was very distorted and like harsh and garbly were his words when he had it cranked up. I said, okay, well, yeah, that would be expected. He said, but my question would be is, would that change sound? Doesn't every radio have its own different characteristic sound? I said, it sure does, absolutely. Hello, Corey. Hello, Greg. How are you guys? Good morning. And so, yeah, I mean, every radio is different. So I could hook up and put 4 radios on the bench. I could put a Stryker, a President, a Cobra, a Galaxy, right? I could put any one of those on the bench. Hell, I could put a 5th one, put an ANYTONE. I could put 5 on the bench, side by side, all turn on at the same time. And you can adjust the volume all to the same decibel. And then you can hear for yourself which one sounds, and we can turn them up and compare each one. Each one's going to sound slightly different characteristic, because every radio has its own characteristic of receive and performance, whether it be receive, transmit. They all have your own different characteristics. So he was asking, well, this guy here, he cranked it up. He said, see how raspy this sounds, blah, 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 blah. But he's got his microphone going into this junction, a little black box, with a cord coming out and going to the radio. I said, yeah, I know. He's feeding it off of there with his microphone instead of disconnecting the cord from the front of the radio when he's done with the injection, and then put the microphone on to do it. So instead of taking the microphone out and off, it's just a lazy way of putting it right through the box. Now you got both. But there is audio stray, like we have RF that is stray RF off your coax at times. So there, you do have audio stray inside that box, and I highly doubt he's got it choked. So, and that's like the little secret, and see if he can figure it out. But I'm sure if you were to put that box on his spectrum analyzer, well, I shouldn't even say that, because you got to learn how to use spectrum analyzer correctly. But if he knew how to put it on the spectrum analyzer, he would see that the audio has stray. He would see that. He would be able to measure it. But again, you got to know how to use your spectrum analyzer. So a lot of things he cannot do, but he'll sit there and say, oh, I can do this and I can do that, but I won't show you guys because I don't want someone else taking credit for it. Well, he needs to stop drinking that funny Kool-Aid, stay off the wacky jacky, and get some education. That's what he needs to do. If he were smart, he would take advantage of a lot of videos and a lot of books to read. But like I said the other day, when people, like within like the last 10 years, if not 12 years, mostly, but more currently within the last 6 years or less, 5-6 years or less, they get on the early bandwagon. Good morning, Brian. How are you? And what they do is, or what I mean by that rather, is they jump right in. So what's hot in the market today? Strykers and Galaxies. Okay. Well, so that's where they begin. But they have no clue about any of the technology that led up to what we have today on the market. You see what I mean? So they don't understand. So all they know is, well, I'm going to do this, and all the videos show me this is what it's got to be. And that's not the case. And 3 of the guys who had emailed me, well, several made comments, but 3 of them were more definitive and said, yeah, he says there's no flat top intervention. They could still see a little bit of that even when he had the radio set up before he cranked it, what he calls crank and spank. Oh my God. Anyhow, the other thing was too, he claimed that his girlfriend bought him this little tiny yellow box. I guess he threw over in the garbage or whatever, I don't know. He said he would never use it because it's poorly made. Boy, he does not understand technology at all. He does not. These boxes are actually very good boxes to use, and they're very accurate boxes to use. Just because they cost cheap doesn't mean anything. Because what's built in the bottom is just a simplified circuit. It doesn't have to be $1 million circuit. It doesn't have to be a Lamborghini coming off the red carpet, for God's sakes. You know, and so what they call it in ISO, it's a DC moving coil, but he doesn't understand how they function. And what that is to measure your milliamps when you're trying to set your bias, which he does not do unless it's done by voltage off the MOSFETs. He doesn't know how to use milliamp meters, apparently, because if he did, he would have never taken that off the bench. But, again. And then last but not least, which I'm sure we'll see more of, is the hack shop from NH also said, oh, well, if you don't know how to work on amplifiers or set amplifiers up, then you don't understand why we got 2 burn meters in line. You don't have the experience. That was his other statement he had made, I guess, recently. Well, you don't need 2 burn meters, number one. That's just lazy. It doesn't matter what you have, what you work on. You got so much to learn, buddy. But if you have 2 burn meters in line, one, you're going to create a little loss in between. Not much, but a little bit. And 2, what does it matter? I don't care if you got 10 burn meters in line. You only need 1. Take the slug in, take the slug out. That's what it's designed to do. But if you want to be lazy and just leave 2 slugs in, okay, whatever. And then use your times 1 times 5 times 10, whatever the hell the switches are. That's a very piss poor, inaccurate circuit to begin with. I don't care who you talk to, what you want to say, because you know what? I've dealt with burn directly. And even though they make those kits, yeah, they're just, it's more frequent, it's more user friendly, it's more applicable to flip a switch than it is to for the elements to be popped in and out, because a lot of guys are just lazy. They don't want to pop the elements in and out, and they don't want to damage them. So if you're careful with them and not rushing around, that's what it's designed to do. But they find easy way out. Easy way out is, let's put a three-way switch in, and we can just times it by 1, 2, 3, whatever, and be done with it. All right, fine, that's cool too. But they're not as accurate as the authentic board that you put in with the 2 9-volt batteries. So that's already been proven. And I actually did a video on this. If you go back through my videos, you'll find a video. I actually did a video proving that and showing the results of it. So, but that's okay. And the other comment was, put your comments down below, because we don't like to hide, we won't delete, we won't block. That's ironically funny, considering that several comments were posted and were removed, and then the person was blocked. So I know that for a fact, because this all happened a month ago, and the guy got, I didn't even know who the hell this guy was. He got right on there with a pissing match, apparently with this idiot, over some nonsense with the CONNEX. And so I had no idea what was going on until that was brought to my attention through email as well. And says, oh yeah, this guy says he doesn't do this, but you blocked me. I said, blocked you for what? Because he got on there and made comments. He didn't swear, nothing like that, didn't make threats, just made comments about, calling him out on all the lies and all the BS and the snake oil and the contradictions. And he got blocked for that too. But, it is what it is. Here, anybody can make a comment. I don't give a shit what it is. I mean, I don't delete nothing here. All my comments are posted right where they are. So when people make a comment, it stays, unless it's cursing and swearing or threats. That's been removed by YouTube, which is out of my hands. But I'll have an alert, and it'll tell me because of language or because of the graphics of some sort. That's all they give me for results. And they'll say a comment was removed due to this nature. Okay, I don't even see the comment at that point if someone's going to be really stupid. But for the most part, any comment that people make, as long as it's not cursing or threatening, then YouTube passes it right through and it goes right on here. I don't remove nothing. I leave all the comments on, whether they are big or small. It doesn't hurt my feelings any. But there is one thing though. If you think you got big shoulders and you don't want to hide behind the YouTube channel, then go live stream. Show the people your work. Go live. That's all you got to do. Don't record and edit. Those are what we call hack shops. The ones who record and edit are the ones who got to fix your mistakes and hide this and hide that. They don't want to show you what they do on the inside. Guys, I've shown you, oh my God, what, 1,300 videos. The insides of radios. What to do, what not to do, what to watch out for, what hack shops do. Why is it so secretive for these other hack shops to continue? Oh, that's right, because it's hack shop. So that's the reason why, guys. So, yeah, when you have a shop that doesn't want to go live stream, or they tell you, oh, yeah, I went live and I posted it, but I had to re-edit, or whatever the nonsense is. No. If you can't see where it says live, and the only way you're going to find out, it's going to be under your live video tab. That's it. Now, I'm going to give you a little heads up, though, because someone just got caught with this. 3 or 4 months ago. A person just got caught. There was a hack shop over in Arkansas who just got caught. I'm not going to mention the name, but it's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. So you don't lie. That's the bad part. Don't lie to your customers, okay? Really no good to it per se, but at the same time it is what it is. Hey Richard, how are you? Good morning. What you want to watch out for is when you see videos that say it was live, but nobody got any alerts. And you're going to see that because people are going to comment, oh, I didn't get an alert. Oh, what was this? I didn't get an alert. And you can see 4 or 5 comments, 6, 7, 8 comments, 10 comments, 2 dozen comments. Repeating the same thing because nobody got an alert. You know why? Because they pre-recorded it, then they scheduled it to be as a live video on a date and time. So, for example, the video that we're doing right now is live. I do everything live. Everything's 100% transparent. We don't hide nothing here. That's what irritates Hack Shop New Hampshire all the time, and then down in Savannah, Georgia, Penny Boy. This is what irritates the hell out of them. This is why they don't like me so much. This is why I get under their skin all the damn time. Because they can't stand the fact that whatever hits my bench live stream, I can analyze it, troubleshoot it, go through the whole process, fix it, and be done making a good product. They hate that because they can't go live stream and do it. They constantly do before and after videos, or they might do 2, 3 videos of the same radio because they had to order something or they had to do this. It's all hogwash, guys, especially in New Hampshire, because he's part of the whole creation, him and his little buddy, about snake oil. But that's all he does is snake oil. So it's contradiction. It's just all whatever it is, But the moral of the story is, guys, when you see videos, I tell you all the time, watch them, look for the dates, all that nonsense. Because what we're doing right now is live. There's no editing. This is live, right? So we don't edit nothing. We have nothing to hide. 100% transparent. However, when you take like this video right now, I could make this video like right now, and I can reschedule it for tomorrow, and leave this original one up. And you can say, wait a minute, did he just do this yesterday morning? That was the RAD2 yesterday morning. Well, why is he doing the same thing again twice? You're going to see that, okay? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Watch and pay attention to the dates, the times, and watch the characteristics and the fundamental part of the videos, and you're going to find out. And if you dig into it and you check it all out, you're going to find that no matter how they try to hide it, YouTube's going to show it, okay? And you can still find all the definitive answers and say, okay, hey, that was 2 weeks ago. This guy did this, but he just posted this, 3 days ago. We'll say he must have scheduled it or something. He had to, right? And that's what they're doing. So you got to watch out a lot of times too. I don't know if that's what he's doing, but probably not. I don't think he's that smart to do it. But you do got to watch out for stuff like that, though, because people do schedule videos under live, but they really weren't live. So pay attention to that and save yourself, dodge a bullet from going through a shop that is going to lie to you and not be very transparent. If you can't be transparent and honest, then you're not a good shop. You're a bad person to begin with. So, and it's not the radio shop itself; it's the people who run the shop, right? Kind of like politics. It's not the state we live in. It's just the people who run the bad show that ruin the likes and the dislikes of people wanting to live or not live inside of a state because of whatever reason, right? So please pay attention and watch out for that kind of thing. And if you continue to watch videos and hear all the nonsense of how they say New York can't learn nothing or he might take credit, remember, guys, do the count. Look at how many videos I have of pure 100% true factual evidence and repairs and knowledge than it is opposed to all the hogwash and snake oil. So pay attention to that, because you're going to know. So no matter how much he wants to soup it up and say certain fancy words, he's almost like Harris. He's got what they call word salad. Because you hear him all the time, and he's always, oh my God, that's one thing I couldn't stand about him when I met the guy. It's always, it's like, spit the words out. He doesn't stutter or nothing. So don't get me wrong on that. No disrespect to anybody who does, but he does not stutter or nothing. He doesn't present himself professionally because he doesn't know how to present himself, because he doesn't have the answers. That's what it comes down to. Same thing with Penny Boy. Now he's got himself a 1980 something spectrum analyzer he claims he hasn't used in 15 years since his got stolen. Okay, number one, who would want to steal a machine like that from the 1980s? Any pawn shop that a person would steal and want to sell it to for quick money, no pawn shop would buy that, because they wouldn't know what it is, because they don't deal with this type of thing. They are a pawn shop. They deal with just what we call an oversized thrift store, just a glorified yard sale. They don't deal with nothing else. So they really don't know what they are going to buy if they can even make money on it, or even how to test it fully to make sure it's worth their investment to stock it on the shelf and resell it to the public. And even if they did buy it just because, okay, whatever, looks cool, we should find someone who might know something about it, might maybe want to buy it. Okay, well, they might do like an eBay check, which most guys usually do today. But back then, they never did. So, for someone to steal a 1980s, some sort, in that era, spectrum analyzer, the chances of any kind of pawn shop to buy it and to resell would be like less than 1%. Now, let's say somebody did do that. Okay, now the chances of it actually selling would still be less than 1%, because the chances of somebody actually walking in to a pawn shop, for what reason would they be walking in? One, to browse around, see what you have, or two, to pawn something, right? Or if not, sell it. The chances of somebody walking in as a person with my skill set and my talent of electronic background for 39 plus years, there's no way I'm going to walk into a pawn shop and, oh my God, you got a spectrum analyzer sitting right here. Do you realize what that is? That's not likely going to happen. I got a better chance of seeing God or hitting a lotto, no different than anybody of you guys who's watching my channel right now. So the chances of you trying to see one of those in a pawn shop is not likely to happen, number one. Number two, the guy never, I shouldn't even say guy, he's a kid. He's in his 30s, and he claims to be over 30 years of experience. He never owned one. He's never used one. Now he's trying to figure out how to use the damn thing, but he's playing it off, I haven't used one in 15 years since mine got stolen. Well, there's been a lot of comments, a lot of videos, a lot of people saying, well, we're still waiting for you to figure out how to use that thing. When are you going to use it? When are you going to show us? And he still hasn't done it. He's still playing around with it because he doesn't know. When you learn how to use something and you're that good, and he claims to be an engineer, okay, well, if you're this good, it's like riding a bicycle, guys. You never forget. It might take you 15, 20 minutes to get acclimated, half an hour at the very most. You're never going to forget. So if I was out of the business for 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden I come across a spectrum analyzer, you better hang on your hat, because just give me 5 minutes to reacclimate my thoughts, and I'll be right back in there using that thing like I was the day I had it for several years. So right there is another snake oil deal that these hack shops are claiming, oh, I haven't used this 15 years. Give me a chance to reacclimate myself. It might take me a couple of days, weeks, months. No, if you know how to use test equipment and you have that knowledge, then you should be able to jump right in there and figure this thing out, okay? That's what you should be able to do, period. You should be very, open and vast knowledge if you have that kind of background in electronics. You should be able to take on any piece of test equipment and figure it out fairly quickly if you have that skill set. If you do not, and you cannot, that pretty much speaks for itself. So it is what it is. So good morning, Daniel. How are you? Hope things are going good for you. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give that out for a heads up, guys. So our drama lover there over in New Hampshire, he's the New Hampshire hack shop is what he is, the hack CV shop. That's what he is known for. And so, yeah, I like his title of Crank and Spank. That's about what he does. 250% clean modulation. You cannot get 250% clean modulation. I've had that conversation several times with different engineers. In fact, just a week ago, I was talking to a guy right directly through President CB, one of the engineers. He laughed his ass off. He says, Stu, let me tell you something. I said, what's that? You can't believe how many times I have heard people talk about this in the last 40 plus years. I said, well, I can imagine that. He said, yeah, but it's still so irritating that people still think that they can get over 100% and have it clean. What don't they understand? I said, well, here's how it goes, John. And that's one of the engineers I talked to. He says, well, I told him, I said, here's how it goes. And I'm sure you'll agree because you're smarter than I am. You're an engineer. I'm not. And he says, I told him, I says, well, here's how it goes, though. When people see or they hear or they think or they just don't understand because it looks okay to them, it looks okay, that's what they go on, and then people follow them. He says, yeah, but that's pretty embarrassing, though, because if they really look at the spectrum analyzer, the scope, they can see it's not going to be what they think it is. I said, I know. I said, here's one better for you, and I'll let all my viewers know this, too. Here's one thing you guys got to learn, okay? If you are an artist, a pure, professional artist, right? I drew I still draw when I get spare time, but I can draw cartoon characters all damn day long. I can't do three-dimensional as far as human faces and whatnot. But cartoon characters, oh hell, I can draw you any kind of cartoon character that you want, anything. Way back from Rocky and Bullwinkle to Popeye to Mickey Mouse to the Lion King to Jasmine and all those. I can draw you just about anything you want professionally as a cartoon character. I can do that. Now, I can draw you a picture right now. Then you're going to ask me, hey, can you draw exactly the same thing twice? I sure can. I can make that thing look damn near close, 100%. You can say, wow, that's almost like you printed it. It's pretty close. But if you really take a look at it, you will see a difference. Because you can never have the same exact, no matter how good you are, it's never going to be 100% exact each and every single time. You're always going to be within very, 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 very extremely close. But you can never duplicate 100%, period. Okay? It's just not in the human DNA to do so. So when we go back to like a spectrum analyzer, people look at that, their eyes generate, well, okay, it looks pretty good. I see this all the time on different videos. It looks just like this. It's got to be that way. Okay, cool. But they really don't know what you're looking for. They just copycat everybody else's videos. So when you're watching videos, everybody, pay attention, because people copycat all the time on what they mimic to make the, yeah, see, this is what it looks like, 100%. But they really don't know. They don't understand how to use span. They don't understand how to set this out to see what it is, 100, 150, 300 megs, if not 1 gig out. They don't understand none of that stuff. The only thing they understand is I can open this up for 2 channels, or 4 channels, or 1 channel, or half channel. And then you got Numbnut down in Georgia. Well, here's my half a division. What? If you have 2 blocks, that's considered 2 division. Each block is a division. So if you got 2 squares on your scope, 1 below, 1 above, that's 2 division. I don't understand how much more I can explain this. It doesn't make no sense to me. And so John had a blast with that. We were hitting all kinds of topics. We were having a blast. Great guy. That's my 3rd conversation with him on different things. Really cool guy. And I just texted him. He gave me his personal cell phone number, and which was nice. So now I have direct line source to anything I want for President Radio. That's the best part. Is that when I got on board with them, the deal was I need all definitive, pure, good, clean, clear service information for these radios. And I want to be a lead warranty tech if you don't have one available for the New York area. They said, oh, that's no problem. We can do this. Okay, cool. So I'm the only lead warranty tech for President CB Radio. For the whole Finger Lakes region, they don't have anybody in the whole upstate area. So I'm the only one here upstate area, which is great. So that gives me the upper hand for that. But the deal was, I need to have the information on hand, though, because if something goes wrong, I can't fix it. I don't want to sell product to a customer if I can't help them fix it. Because no one's going to want to buy it, throw it away for breaks, and buy another one, and continue that 3, 4, 5 times. So that was the deal breaker. I said, if you can give me good information, not the stuff off of the website that somebody has a cheap copy of a schematic. I want everything. I want voltage charts. I want the red outline as to travel flow. I want block diagram. I want everything that I can have that you have. So if I see something wrong, I can help kind of break it down, because I'll be a big benefit with my knowledge and skill set is above and beyond. And I said, if you watch my YouTube channel, you'll understand that more. And this way, if I do see something, maybe you guys might not realize, or people down the line through QA, and you got a software glitch or something stupid, or whatever else is going on, I can let you know. Or vice versa. You might say, hey, we got this right here, but we got a recall on a batch, whatever the case it is. So they were very nice about that. He goes, no one's ever asked me that before. So the one I got in touch with, he got me in touch with John, and I mentioned this all to John, and he said, no, absolutely, no problem. I got a whole library on my computer right now of all the information that I've got. And so that's what I needed. So now I've got every President Radio, all the new President Radios, I've got all their schematics, complete everything, exactly matched to what they have in the engineering department. I've got all the revisions. I've got all the, of course, the basic conversion mods. People are going to have those anyways. But I got all the information I need, so if anything ever goes wrong, I could try to break it down more closely to where the problem may be. Whether it's processor issue, software issue, pretty much about the only 2 biggest problems you're going to have is right there on the newer radios. So after going through all the service manuals and see what they have and the characteristics of each radio versus one and the other, I'm able to identify and troubleshoot these a lot quicker with those, because now it makes more sense the way they got these all designed and set up. And a lot of these are all duplicated. So a lot of these are actually very close to other product. I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to step on companies' names. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But I'll put it like this: you only have so many manufacturers in the world. I leave it like that. If you guys can understand what I'm talking about, then you're going to realize a lot of the boards are very similar, if not duplicated, but different revisions. I'll leave it as such. I don't want to go into more detail like that because I did sign a waiver, and I got to be careful with what I describe as far as certain technical aspects of things and like that nature. But for the most part, I can pretty much share whatever I want. So, but there are a lot of things that numbnuts don't know because he didn't sign nothing. They didn't go into all that detail because they won't give it to him, because they do background checks. And he asked me, well, what do you have? You got a website? You go, oh, yeah. And so again, my test ID number and this and the other. Oh, hell, that trumps over everything. Okay, cool. So when you watch all my credentials, I even sent information. I sent all copies of what I have, all my certificates way back since high school, ran up till now. Sent all that information in. And he said, wow, you're like one of the very few people we've ever seen that has this kind of background. We need guys like you. And that's when we got to talk about the whole warranty thing. And I said, well, I want to be a lead warranty tech in New York State if you guys don't have one. And he said, oh, no, we'd love to have you on board because we don't have anybody up that way. There's a bunch down by Lower Manhattan, Long Island. They've got some by New York City area. But nothing as far as anywhere from Albany and above. They ain't got nobody. So I pretty much cover about that whole half of the state, from Albany right up here towards Buffalo. And so I'm the only warranty tech that they've got available, which is good for me, because it's more business for me. And two, we ain't got to worry about people screwing them up. They don't want nobody inside screwing shit up. That's why they have warranty techs, so we can stand by and do it the right way. That's why they have certain ones that they rely on. They won't rely on just a hack shop. They do background checks. Good morning, Chad. Good morning, Corey. How are you guys? So that is the deal with this. So anyways, that's our morning rag show, is to watch out for the hack shop king in New Hampshire, and one down in Georgia. There's a few down around Arkansas, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida. Oh, I can give you a whole list of names, but I won't. You can pretty much figure that out on your own. When you watch people's videos, and I encourage you, watch anybody's videos. You don't have to just watch mine. Watch everybody's. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to mine, everybody else, whatever you want to do, I don't care. Leave comments, do whatever you want to do. But keep in mind, morning Stanley, how are you? Just keep in mind, when you're watching videos, don't just sit there and watch it. Take the time to really pay attention to the videos. Look at what they do. Listen to what they say. Watch how they're operating the equipment. Look at the bench to see what's actually connected, what's not connected. Because there is another shop, let's see here. I'm going to abbreviate it as RG. I'm not going to say what it was, but RG, we'll just leave it like that, got caught with an ANYTONE and 2 STRYKERs, and then he went back to an ANYTONE, and then he had 1 COBRA on the bench. Okay? And all of those radios in which he didn't realize the camera, the way it was pointed, no microphone was connected. Nothing was connected to the mic jack at all for even direct injector, nothing. Nothing was connected to the mic jack at all on those radios. And he did not realize the camera was just there where you could see the mic jack at the bottom of the radio. He had to more focus onto the test equipment. And when I pointed this out to customers, they were very upset. And I didn't do that to be mean. I said, hey, this is your video? You said, right? Your radio. Yeah. Well, how's he making a tone through and showing carrier and all that modulation when he's got no microphone connected to the front mic jack? I said, what do you mean? I said, look at your video again. Nothing was connected to the mic jack, which means you have no way to get that radio to transmit, no way for it to produce any kind of carrier, let alone audio to pass through, to show you any kind of waveform on your test equipment, which means he was using something other than that radio. So, so yeah, pay attention to videos, guys. Pay attention to how people have things hooked up and whatnot, and we'll give a nice little A little flap there shout out to the New Hampshire Hack Shop Tech, who does a great job with his funny videos of snake oil BS. Keep up the great work. You're only drowning yourself there, buddy. If one day you get your head out of your backside, you might learn something. But in order to do that, you got two things you got to understand. One, you got to take the time to really learn. And two, you got to get away from that nut job who says his ham license base has been engineer. Because it doesn't happen that way. If this were the case, then we got a lot of 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 18-year-old kids, you know, young people who are getting ham licenses every single day. Does that make them a smart person as a freaking tech? I don't think so. What do I think about RTL SDRs? Well, I don't know. They're fun to play with too, but I mean, it depends on what you're going to use it for. Because that kind of, you're kind of broad on that term. You can use it for many different things, so it depends on what you're looking for. Because you can, are you talking about like RTL systems? Or are you talking about just a standard SDR toggled by RTL? There's a variety of different things you can do with that. So it depends on what you're referring to with it. So, alright guys, I got a lot to do today. So anyways, everyone have a great morning. Start off your week. Everyone have a great day. We'll catch y'all here soon at the DX Radio Shop. And remember, watch those videos. Don't be fooled. Don't be drinking the Kool-Aid of all these hack shops. Because you don't want to be part of that as all. Because you're going to find yourself in a big situation that you're not going to want. Someone's going to damage your equipment, cost you more time, more money. Then you got to send it back out and get it done right. It's just not worth the time. So, he said HF sideband ham. So yeah, depending on what you're looking for and what you're using it for, I don't know. I'm not big in that whole SDR stuff. They're not very accurate. They say they are, but it's not because it's all computer-based software. So there's a lot of glitches in those yet. I've seen some that work pretty good, but I've seen some that I don't know. I'm not too big on those. So I stick with my analog stuff. All right, guys. Catch y'all later at the DX Radio Shop. Everybody have a great day.